Welcome back, everybody, to the 2025 Derby City Classic. This is round 9, and this is the 9-ball division. As you see on your screen, we have two great players for you. The first, 817 Fargo. His name is Alex the Lion Pagulayan. Second player is Tim de Ruyter. You see his Fargo's a 750. They've got him at a 17% chance of winning this match. I am your host, Scott Frost. Thank you all for joining me. I'll do my best to give you some information and slightly keep you entertained. This is a World 9-Ball Tour ranking event, or WNT. The 9 will be racked on the spot. It is winner break. Jump cues are allowed. 3-foul rule is in effect. And I think that's about it. But Tim won the lag. Couple of little stats for you. Tim de Ruyter lost in round 1, I believe it was, and then had a forfeit from Gerson Martinez, round number 7. Then in round number 8, he had no losses. Gerson Martinez forfeited in round 7, and then in round number 8, I believe that Mika Immonen delivered him his first blow at 9-2. So they are cut breaking these balls. Don't get it mistaken. He is playing the 1 just in the middle of the left pocket and the left diamond. And when you catch the 1 short, the way he just did, it's typically a matter of him hitting them a little thin. And that's how these guys know how to make the adjustments. If the 1 comes past the side on our end, he caught it a little thick. If it comes before the side, typically catching it a little thin. Now that is with the 9 on the spot. Nobody should be a stranger to the young man at the table here, Alex Pagulayan. For the record, this is the only angle I have to work with. It could be a lot worse. But I can't tell here if he's dead straight. If he is, he could just push forward. Play something tactically on the blue 2, maybe cinch him up to the red 3. He really does want to get him up under there pretty good. I don't think he's thrilled with it. Jump cues are allowed. I do not know how good de Ruyter is with the jump cue. Nothing wrong with this play, though. Maybe his concern, locking him up to the 3, was losing the 2 ball a little bit. Looks like Tim going to be kicking. A lot of the elite players nowadays would jump this 2 ball, but there really isn't a huge future with where the 3 is, so I can't fault him for kicking at it. Really doesn't have the top side of the 2 ball, believe it or not. The 5 acting as kind of a big ball here. You cannot ask for a better hit than this. Kind of a brutal kiss, but really all you can ask for. Nice square contact there by Tim. So the 3 does play in the lower left, I believe. Also plays in the right side or the left side. Most likely going to the second rail here, maybe even the third. And this is nice. Doesn't look bad at all. Purple 4 up in the top right corner. Alex Pagulayan has 0 losses in the event. Beat a couple players like Shannon Murphy, 9-2. Chris Reinhold, 9-4. Cruising right along. I feel like this format sets up for Alex. His break is quite underrated. We are playing on 9-foot black diamonds, pro cut, 4.5-inch pockets. This is one of 3 events. It is the final event. We started out with bank pool. The middle event is 1 pocket, and now into the final event, which is, like I said, a World 9-Ball Tour ranking event. The points will send you towards the Moscone Cup, and it is an event you want to win. Can he pull it back to the right side of the table, or does he just want to stay long on the 6? Yeah, maybe want to get into it a bit more, but that's okay. Got plenty out of the cue ball there. People know this. Pagulayan regarded as probably the best one-pocket player in the world the last several years. Tends to roll his cue ball a little bit more than some of the elite rotation players. Don't get me wrong, he's also an elite rotation player. But I think due to a lot of the one pocket that he's played, it lends a little bit more to a finesse style versus a lot of the elite players who have more of a power style, where they'll draw the ball with an outside ball or they'll punch around with an outside ball. Pagulayan has no problem rolling the ball. And when things are running well for him, he is extremely difficult to beat. What a decorated career he has had. I think he is 3-time Canadian 9-ball and 8-ball champion. He's won so many big titles. All right, he's cut breaking from the right, looking to make the 1 in the left middle. Keep your eye on where the 1 finishes if it doesn't drop. Well, he doesn't need to make an adjustment. That's kind of what I was touching on. I feel like this part of his game is a little bit underrated or overlooked. He's so good tactically, so good with the cue ball. Still a great shot maker. Yeah, another look. And that's really patented. 1 rail into the 9. That's exactly what you're looking for. He's got a big 7-ball he can use if he'd like to try and get behind it. Otherwise, cutting at it's not the end of the world. I don't mind cutting at it. Oh, very good. All the while knowing he's going to get back down here. Just in case he happens to miss this ball. It's probably going to get covered up by the 6 or the 7. Problem now is he's fallen flat on the 5. He might be forced to go to the left side if it's not too steep. Could just roll forward and try to play the bank if he'd like, but once again, floating the cue ball with a high ball. Big on this stuff here, Pagulayan, and very good at it. Yeah, does he have to elevate, or can he just check the cue ball here? Just a tick of inside English. Very good. Interesting. Just evaluating the 8 to the right side. I don't know that he's going to go there. I think that might be one of the only ways you can get yourself in trouble if you don't fall low enough. Yeah, might have been able to use 2 or 3 more rotations out of the cue ball, but he can take the steep on the 9 to the top left. No problem. And from the dry break, Ruyter has been non-existent. Did get to kick at the blue 2 and did a great job at that, but that is about it. And that's what this young man will do. He will keep you handcuffed. Not exactly young anymore. Born in '78. But he's young compared to myself. Born in '75. Pagulayan, 46 years old. Still a young man. Some of his best years in pool might still be in front of him. I feel like if there's anybody that can play for a long period of time as they get older, it might be Alex. He's built for it, doesn't carry around a lot of weight, still in pretty good shape. See if he can repeat the cut break. Okay, just a little bit short. Notice how the balls didn't sound quite as good. And look at the spread, right? The spread is just not there versus when he peered it last rack. You'll almost hear a clatter when he makes contact, when you miss-hit the cut. We hear it from a lot of the players. Definitely hear it more often than not when I'm trying to cut break. Gonna go to the left center here. With a low right ball, most likely gonna check it off the right long rail than the bottom rail here. Is he elevating? I think he's got to elevate a little bit. Yeah. Nicely struck. Just avoid the 6. That's kind of a big question. Do you come to the right or left of the 6? I like it. Nothing wrong here. I feel like you'd be better off staying above the 4, even if you could just get past the 6, or stay inside of it. Yeah, like this. There's nothing wrong with it because it carries you for sure position to the 5. Just check it with a bit of inside. This is one of those balls that you really kind of play to overcut, because at the speed at which you're hitting it, it's very easy for that 4 to twist over a little bit. So you find your play where you want to aim to the 4, and then just aim a tick thinner, just a tick. It's not rocket science, but typically when you're slow roll cutting a ball or less than medium speed, a lot of times that object ball wants to turn over or kick on you a little bit. Went with an outside ball, not bad, just don't fall straight. I think he can go forward here. Just got to beat the left side pocket off the second rail. This was always just kind of the concern for me with an outside ball. When you're coming off this bottom rail, real easy to fall straight. With an inside ball, most likely going to fall a little bit short. So you're going to carry that angle a lot better. That's just my opinion from what I saw there. Easier to make the ball with an outside cue ball. I do get that. All right, he's drawing out here. And that's what induced the miss. Never fails when you're trying to force something. Must have been a little bit straighter than I'd first thought as well. Definitely has not finished in an easy position here. The 5 is easily missable as well. If you go into the 5 first, it becomes such a big ball to miss. This is why he's going to use the long rail. And I can't fault him with a high ball. But the speed could cause a miss as well. He's got to use a little speed. Just caught it a bit thick, really. That's how he finished here. Interesting decision there. I mean, the 9 was so far out from the pocket, it must have looked really good to him while at the table, but I felt like he had a couple of big options. I felt like he could actually cut the 6 to the top right, but at worst, I felt like he could knock the 6 up table and just use the 9 as cover. Tim might be going at the 9 now. And he did. A little bit cold-blooded. I like the thought process, though, right? Getting the 6 up here to the top end where Pagulayan doesn't have a lot of great options. Very hard to play safe on the 6 with the 9 hovering. You'd have to believe that he comes up with something. What about edging our left side of the 6 and going towards the 9? You can create distance, and if you don't get the 9 down, it'll be somewhere near the cue ball if you hit it decent. Pretty steep to back bank it towards the 9. I feel like the cue ball's really threatening the left side that way. Having a hard time getting comfortable with the bridge as well. Yeah, I just don't feel like he wants to bank the 6 back up towards the middle of the table. Try and use the 8 as protection. That is just too dangerous, so that's off the table, no pun. I really feel like edging the left side of the 6 and just trying to come towards the 9. If you don't make the 9, the cue ball will probably have distance on the 6. Wow, or you could just commit and chop it in from no man's land. What a great play that was on the green. Now he's got to get this down. Stayed down very well. Just barely clipped it in, but a great shot on the green 6 by the line. Speaking of great, Alex has had some pretty great years in his career. One of the better years from what I've seen. Yeah, let's take another look. I mean, there was nothing in mind beyond getting that 6 down, so credit to Pagulayan for taking it. Caught this thick, though. Sometimes when that ball's hanging, you tend to want to take it for granted. Can easily be missed. 2008, one of his bigger years to date, 91,000 in tournament earnings. Was a big money player, still does play for money, but really back in our era, there was as much money, well, should I use the word gambling, as there was tournament pool. There was actually a lot more money in gambling back in those days. Now switching sides. Tell you what, he's got the 2 down. It just goes to show what type of versatile player he is. Can immediately switch sides and go to a completely different hit. The 1 just rattles out of the side. Take a look. Very deep. Credit to the tight diamond tables. But look at the layout. This is the type of layout you'd like to have on your birthday. Just carry an angle on the 4 and you're home free. Stopping right there is not the end of the world by any means. You don't have to get cute and try and pinch the cue ball back 2 feet. You're a heavy favorite to make the 4 from anywhere in that area. I absolutely love the jersey that Alex is wearing. Canada in red. Just looks clean. Obviously, Alex doing very well with his brand. Also, it's called Pagulayan, and you'll see the logo right there at the top of his jersey. Perfect. Didn't try to get too quick or too funny. Took the distance. Natural to the 5. Most likely going to go to the side here with the 7. Just falls easier to the 8. We'll go to the second rail here. Looking well, looking very well is the Lion. No losses into round 9. And no losses into game number 4. Ruyter needs to get on the board. 4-0, the Lion. I'm looking at that year, 2008, on AZ Billiards, where he had a $91,000 a year. There was a Guinness tour that he won that paid $15,000. It was tour stop number 4. Where was I at in 2008? I feel like I would have been playing this tour, but Guinness tour does not ring a bell to me. But that's a pretty good payday for a pool tournament. And that was the year of the historic Shane Van Boening Pagulayan money match on Tar, if anybody can remember. The Action Report. Pretty crazy days back then. Big Nasty Chad passed away a couple of years ago now. Good friend of mine. Then Justin Collette, Mark Griffin. They really were the innovators of action streams. I believe that match, Shane was way ahead. Alex come back and won, and it was one for the record books. I'm sure we could find it out there somewhere, but it was a great, great match. Also, winning the World Pool Masters in 2008. You've got to feel like that's one of his greatest accomplishments. Paid $20,000. Okay, he's going to elect to stay at the same breaking spot. Very good. Immediately notice the cue ball tracking 2 rails towards the 9. It's kind of FSR-esque, right? FSR, one of the patented designers of this break. He figured it out before everybody else. Check the cue ball. 1, 2, back into the 9. Now this does happen a lot, but that's why the World 9-Ball Tour is so effective. You've got to get a little fortunate to get a look at the blue 2 because it's randomly racked. Calling push out. So the oncoming player's option to take it. And he better take it, in my opinion, because I think Alex is going to kick and stick 2 rails below the blue 2. I talk about these positions quite a bit, especially when you're trailing. Okay? And he's giving it back. Now, Alex might not execute. It might be the right decision, but I think percentage-wise, over time, when you're trailing 4-0, you have to take it from them because they're not going to just give it to you. And this is kind of what I'm talking about here. Now, I don't know if he got away with it or not, but it was an excellent hit. But Tim could have done the same thing to Alex. When you're trailing 4-0, you really have to find a way to change that momentum up. So I think he's got to jump a piece of the 8, believe it or not. If he happens to get the 2 down, he's got to worry about crashing into the 6. I like the decision. What a great play. Yeah, a little unlucky. Could have caught the 9 a bit fuller. Now, once again, this is where Pagulayan excels. He can roll forward where a lot of elite players don't like rolling this ball. They'll stun or punch. I think he'll just slow roll this. He did punch it, and this is why it was missed. Surprised he didn't roll this and just take a little bit of an angle on the 3 due to where the 5 was. Only way the pocket gets a little bit tighter is when you pinch it like that. So this is a chance for Tim. Does have a nice swing. I remember, I believe it was last year, where he had Shane Van Boening on the ropes in a big event. Can't remember if it was the UK Open, but it was one of those events across the pond. He really had Shane buried. A couple of crazy things happened. Shane did end up winning the match, hill. To Ruyter. Gonna get on the board. Game number 5. Trailing 4-1. Not a lot of big years for Tim, but I don't believe Tim plays a lot of major tournaments. I think he plays more of the Euro Tour stuff versus a lot of them in the United States. Yeah, and actually took 33rd at the US Open 2022. Did finish 8th at the Derby City Classic in the Bank Pool Division. It's a strong finish, very tough tournament to do well in, which is here, obviously, but Bank Pool players come out of the woodwork at this event. There you go. Need a kiss. Not that kiss. Can be a cruel game. Look at this kiss down low. He gets the one in where he needs it. Did catch him fat, though. Drew one rail over and back up. I don't believe that's by design. But look at that kiss there. Pretty chilly. I mean, really chilly. Going to the air. He's going to basically have to land on this ball. How did he do with position? That'll get you going. I believe he did land on it. Sure did. Stunned the cue ball right up. Well done, Tim. Just check this with a tip of inside. You can afford to be anywhere on the right long rail. Just watch the middle. You overhit this. Did you get away with it? A slight apology. He didn't mean it, though. The apology, that is. You had the whole right table to work with, Tim. Nice punch. Tell you what, he did make a couple of really nice plays here in this rack. Game number 6 is going to go to Ruyter, trailing 4-2. The black diamond table. There is no other table, in my opinion, that comes close. Rails are so consistent, such a solid piece of equipment. I tell you what, you just can't beat it. Aramith balls, Simonis cloth, the best of the best It is the final event, so the cloth playing a little bit tougher. It's been worn in without a doubt. First couple of days, it plays quite forgiving. If you haven't been to the Derby City Classic, you need to make it a bucket list event. It's an experience you'll soon not forget. Pool player's paradise. See how thick he catches this. Yeah, so he's drawing up table, and I believe now, after the second time in a row, it is by design. Let's take another look. Let's see if the 2 gets kissed, but when the 2's low like that, typically gonna get kissed. So that's when I think you need to make an adjustment instead of drawing up table, kind of flatten the cue ball out a bit. I don't know how you can be real surprised at not getting a look. It's a little unfortunate, but you've kind of got to think that there's going to be a lot of separation when the 2's low. You know it's going to get a kiss. Can roll out. I'll tell you what, edging the left side of the 2 is real touchy. I don't see a lot of cover. Watch your balance. Looks like he's about to fall over there. It happens. Yeah, you can assure Alex. Well, I can't say assure. I shouldn't say that. But typically a player such as Alex won't give something like this back unless it's just really awkward. He's got multiple options. He can cut the 2 to the right long rail above the 6, just towards the top rail, and swing the cue ball around. He can play the 2 back up here. Yeah, I felt like the 6 was a big ball, but did catch a piece of the 9 and watched the corner. Okay. I believe that's because he caught the 2 real thick. Cue ball just never had a chance to deflect off of it. Watch out the thick. Yeah, he just caught it a lot thicker than he thought. I think he was trying to go to the right side or back side of the 6, not in front of it. Could be wrong. Out of nowhere, the Ruyter within 1 if he can run these balls. Very well done. Just get off the rail here. You don't have to come to the second rail. No reason to really spin this, just to center to a high ball. He's created a little bit straighter of an angle. I thought he'd just come back and forth on the 6 below and then above the 9, but now I guess going to draw up 1 rail. This is where the speed can get away from you a little bit versus coming into the angle. Yeah. Don't see any major issues here. Just don't want to overcut this ball. The pocket will spit it. Very good. Very, very good. I do see a little bit of movement in the back arm after contact. It's almost like he turns his back arm in a little bit. I've noticed it a few times. but it's after contact, so I don't believe it's affecting anything. Tim within 1 after game number 7. Really didn't look good for him, trailing 4 games to 0. I guess Alex has really not made any major mistakes, just caught that safety a little thick and scratched into the top right. Speaking of Alex, I do believe he's one of the guys that could have made a living playing professional snooker. It was a little late for him when he started to try out for it. I believe it was in, well, he did play some snooker events in Canada, but for the tour over in Europe, I believe it was more in like the 2016, 17 era. I think he made the cut to the final 64 once, or qualified to the final 64, but it was very tough. Okay, a little bit quick there with the swing. Definitely short with the 1. You can just see when the balls are mishit how the layout becomes a little bit complicated. Does the 3 pass the 5? Is he thinking of maybe playing the 2-8 combination and using the 2 to get to the 3 a different way? Gonna float forward here, level Q. So got a little bit of an angle. Where's the 2 going? Is it straight enough to where it just stays? Maybe it is. Guess it is. Maybe it doesn't pass the 5. Now taking a look. If he's looking at that line, there's a chance he might just bank this cross side and punch forward. But I think he's going to just play it to the right side here. Yeah, taking it all the way up. Still incredibly tough due to where the 4 is. Easier to make this ball rolling the cue ball versus trying to stun it. All depends on if the 3 is frozen or not. Taking a look at the stun into the 4. I don't know what the conversation was about there. Maybe asking if it's all ball fouls, worried about his hand to the 5. Now might just be playing safe. Pretty good. That's all you can ask for. You want to cut him off from this bottom rail, though. Yeah, I think he might be able to swerve to the back of the 3. 6 a big ball here. You would love to knock the 3 just past the 6 up towards the backside of the 7 to the top, but you really got to dig into it to do that. Very tough at that speed. Just not going to give the cue ball time to turn. He did Pagulayan a slight favor by moving the orange. Yeah, did he fall a little straighter than he wanted? I think he's fine. There's nothing wrong with just going forward. Seasoned player will, if it can keep him out of trouble. Less cue ball movement. It really opens the table up. Yeah, it really opens the table up for better position. Yeah, this is okay. Just going to float this in and go forward. Going to be a little steeper on the 6, but should be just fine. Perfect. Now this is a scenario where Alex, at times, and I don't think he'll do it here, but there are times where he'll check this with an inside ball. He uses a lot of inside when playing one pocket. Here, going to use a low outside ball, and that's typically what the elite players will do, playing rotation, but a lot of times Alex real good with holding the cue ball on the inside. Very clean there. A great response. Game number 8 going to the line. Up 5-3. Yeah, so 2012 he wins the Swanee Memorial. 2011 wins the Swanee Memorial. Jay Swanson, great player from California, passed away many, many years ago. 2011 Canadian Open snooker champion. We mentioned 2008 Whirlpool Masters. 2007 won the World Summit of Pool. 2006 the Philippine National Snooker Championship. And then 2005, the Philippines Snooker Team Gold Medal in the SEA Games. Notice where the cue ball is here. The Europeans will put it more towards the center like Pagulayan does. The USA seems to put it a little bit more towards the outside. Yeah, take another look. The one way short this time. Definitely a missed hit. Not fun being elevated over the 4 like this, and really a bad cue ball tracking around. Is he just going to use the 3 here, or is he going to go for this? Felt like you could tuck the cue ball under the 3 and send the 1 towards the center of the table where things are tough, but I can't fault this. Kind of always knew the 1 would be pretty safe. You can thin off the left side of the 1 and swing the cue ball 1, 2, 3 behind the 8. The 3 is also a big ball, but a little awkward to get behind. He needs this to carry. Speed looks real nice. That 8 ball becomes a very big ball off the 3rd rail. These guys use it a lot. When you're using an outside cue ball, it seems to check real good off the 3rd rail. Not a terrible hit by any means. Left him parallel. Is he able to go forward on the bank? 7 allows it to be a real big pocket. Well, he crashed into 40% of the balls that are on the table. Another look using the 7. And I take that back, more like 20% of the balls that are on the table. Doesn't really want to crash into anything here unless it's the 7. It might be able to come on the inside of the 5. Well, that was 40% of the balls. Really couldn't foresee a lot going wrong, though, with where the 3 was. Kind of come up towards the 7 here. Just don't want to flirt with the left side. I don't know, awful tough to drag below the 4. If he could just drag below the 4, he'd love to do that. Taking a look at that now, I don't think this is the worst of the plays, but it just seems like the 3's a little thin for that. How bad is it just going at the 4? Is it safer than going at the 7? Yeah, very good. Very, very good. And that's something he is noted for, is the cue ball. Something else that I know he does very well. Don't let his size fool you. He can reach certain balls better than I can. Putting the short extension on here. Looks like he's coming back past the 9. Yeah, did he get a little thinner than he wanted? I think he could check this. Very compact player. Little to zero big practice swings. It's more just a bunt stroke dialing into the cue ball. When it feels good, that's when he's ready. Darren Appleton, another world-class player, very similar in a lot of ways as far as the compact little swings there. Something you'll notice with the elite players, though, very few, if any nowadays, will take 3 or 4 big swings in the practice stroke. It's more like one big swing, dial in, dial in, dial in. I feel good, pull the trigger. Game number 9 going to the line. But one of the reasons I believe that we've come up with, we've talked about it, I've talked to Jeremy Jones quite a bit about it. One of the reasons we believe that the elite players have kind of gone away from practice strokes, meaning 2, 3, 4 long big practice swings prior to contact with the cue ball, is that, well, the mind can recognize something that it doesn't like, and you can feel that subconsciously. Now, you can be down on the ball with a big practice swing, and then all of a sudden, subconsciously, something just doesn't feel right. They kind of want to stay away from that, right? So they'll get down, take a look at, let me give you an example, Pius Labutis, or, Josh Filler even, Jason Shaw. They're never going to get down there and just practice with 3 or 4 big swings. They'll address the cue ball, one good swing, then dial in, dial in. Yes, this feels good. Pull the trigger. Excuse me. Yeah, and there's a big break from Pagulayan. Another look. And really coming up table with the cue ball seems to be kind of the trick here. And noticed a couple of other players at this particular event that are doing the same thing. This break is evolving so much that the cut break was great in the beginning, but we tend to think that these guys are going to start to come with different breaks to where their looks at the 2 might be a little bit more often. Gonna stun forward, I believe. Pretty good, pretty good. Last time he missed the blue 2 to the lower left with the stun. I believe it was the 2, yes. Now, in my opinion, no need here to flirt with the 5. Just come across the top of the 9. Can come to the second round. Now, if you want to come long like that, I feel like you introduce the 5 a little bit. Now, you've got the entire left side of the table to play the 4 in the lower left. He is great with the cue ball, so I'm never going to argue what he ends up choosing. But now recognizing the left side of the table, which I think is pretty safe, coming above the 9. Yeah, this is perfect. I think it's the wisest play. It just keeps you out of any risk of dealing with the 5 or getting too close to the 4. looking to play the 5 on the left side, but I can assure you if he falls to the corner, he'll play it there. Yeah, great strike. He got into the cue ball much better than I thought from there. Might have got into it so well that the 9 becomes a big problem, to where he might have to just stun past it with a right ball, but makes it a lot trickier with the 8 where it's at. Don't have a lot of room for error. Watch this stroke. Tell you what, made that look extremely easy. That's how good he is with the cue ball. It's very touchy. Real easy to go directly into the 9, and also very easy to let up on it and go right into the 8. Pagulayan starting to feel good. Just wants to stay off the rail here if he can. That's where you'd love to be, right in front of the side, so you can cue the cue ball a little bit better. Interesting. I feel like that was a last-minute decision. I am almost certain he was going to a low cue ball. Then last minute felt real good over the ball and decided to go forward. He is a trained professional. Do not try that at home. Only try it in your local pool room while everybody's watching. Game number 10 going to go to the Lion. 7 games to 3, and really looking sound, in my opinion. And a great response. Timur de Ruyter comes back, or de Ruyter comes back with 3 in a row after Pagulayan leading 4 games to 0. So I feel like the response was great by both players. Now Alex, a 98% favorite to win this match. Oftentimes not a huge fan of these percentages. Here, you got to kind of feel like it's fairly accurate. Just doesn't look like Pagulayan is going to waver anytime soon. I love the fact he's moved the cue ball around a little bit early to get a good feel. He's been sticking with this position now for most of the match. Okay, there's the cue ball back and forth. Did get the 3 down. But long on the 1. Do you take a chance at smoothing it into the lower left? Kind of got to dig with a low outside ball and really swerve it. Or do you level out to the lower left and go towards the 2 with a little bit of speed and just kind of like where he just put his hand? And maybe just kind of take your medicine and hope that if you knock it down, you get some type of look at the 2, which you should. Definitely can bank the 1 back up towards like the 6 or the 5. Use the 8. Well, that's what I was looking at. I felt like it was okay. He just caught it a bit thick, and he's left it open for Tim. I like the decision, but you've got to feel like if you're going to miss that ball, you want to miss it to the thin side. At 2%, looking a little bit better. Where is the window? I'd like to play $20 to win $20,000, if possible, please. Oh, real thin. Gonna get a good rub. No reason to go into anything here. You can just two-rail around a 4. Needs to carry. Yeah, I think he fell a little steeper than he wanted. Is he going to be able to hold here? I believe that's about as good as you could do. 6 does play to the right side. Don't want to get straight on it. Yeah, I tell you what, at this angle, this ball can become missable. Almost feel like now, looking back, that maybe pinching that cue ball and playing it to the corner, the green 6, would have been better, but he can manage. Just falls into position. Speed looks okay. Well, really got into that ball. Game number 11. Gonna go to Ruyter. And he's not out of this by any means, in my opinion. Now a 3% chance to win the match. One thing he is doing is definitely playing the 1 a lot thicker, bringing the cue ball up. I do believe that's by design because I haven't really seen him catch it thin as far as a true cut break is concerned. He's catching it a lot more full, talking about the 1. Still not real comfortable, in my opinion, with where he's breaking from. Hasn't quite found that spot. A lot better there. Watch the side. Really a lot better there. You can just hear it in the contact. See if the cue ball catches any type of a kiss. Doesn't. You'll see a lot of players accidentally go 3 rails, but might have put a little bit of inside on the cue ball there, believe it or not. Looking to see if the 5 passes the 8 to the top right. Wow. Can we get another look at this ball? How deep is this? I never even dreamed he was going to miss the 2. Pagulayan going to have to draw. Yeah, how'd he catch it? He catch it? Oh, just a little thin. Wow. Yeah, and I was going to say right there, Pagulayan going to have to draw straight out of the corner. If you try to use one of the side rails, it can get awfully funny. I think he did try to use the right side rail. That's how he's ended up here. No, he just caught it a little bit thinner than he'd liked. Definitely tried to draw directly out of it. Gonna go defensive here, maybe to the lower right at the same time. Just to the 8. Really wanted to tuck him behind the 8 there. Can't feel extremely comfortable with this jump shot if you're Pagulayan, the Ruyter, looking to knock it in. Just don't want to draw into the lower right here. Look at this shot. Wow. A little bit of everything going on there. Definitely finished tricky. What does Alex have up his sleeve here? Only thing I see is the 6. Just shaving off the bottom half of the 3 and using the 6. Unless he thinks he can play it cross side. Yeah, he's going to stay aggressive, I guess. Cross side. That needs to settle. Yeah, he is going to be snookered. Short that 3 up with a high inside ball. That's how the cue ball checked on that line. Kind of bent off the first rail here. Yeah, take a look at the cue ball here. There's the bend. Table playing pretty quick from what I see. Yeah, and he said I'd rather be lucky than good, but you gotta feel like he's taking his chance there. He knows he's gonna get the 8 in motion if he doesn't squeak the 5 past it. Yeah, right. There's another look, but listen, there's a pocket in the top right. If you make good contact, good things can happen. A little fortunate, but really good contact to the 5. 2 rails out here, or you drag 1 rail over. I think it's 2 rails. Squeaked it in. A little bit of body movement there. Yeah, the back arm tightening up just a bit. It's not due to pressure. Right in the heart. Pagulayan, 2 balls away from the hill. Fluked the 8 in, but boy, it's hard pressed for me to even call that a fluke. I know that it was by design that he crashed into it and hoped for something good. Game number 12 goes to the line. 8 games to 4. What year did Pagulayan win the U.S. Open? 2005. Also won the Derby City Classic 10-ball ring game in 2005. Pretty good year, 2005. SML Entertainment 9-ball champion. Then in 2004, I believe that was his first world championship, the WPA World 9-ball Championship, 2004. Pretty good resume this young man has, and I'm just touching on a few. Will this be the last break for Pagulayan? Pretty clearly, with one dress up. One just caught the point of the side, and it's shocking how that ball will go down into the corner. Can he reach it? He'd like to cut at this if he could reach it. If not, maybe go behind the 8. Overcut it. Now this might be a little fortunate. Not out of the woods yet, Pagulayan. There is a nice kick here if Tim sees it. And kick 2 rails to the half side of the 2 there, kind of like you're flicking the 2 to the top right pocket, but if you catch it just a little bit thick, your cue ball should come down behind the 4 and 3 and just chip the 2 over 1 rail behind the 9. Yeah, you just want to come deep into the corner there with a right ball. Decided to come heavy behind it, can't fault him. That'll work out for now. Does he take a chance at playing it to the lower left corner and just wrapping around? This is another one you just don't want to catch too thick. Yeah, and he was highly aware. Not going to get the snooker, but did okay. I don't know if he can get to the entire left side of the 2 here, but you could use an extreme right cue ball and just feather the 2 towards the 5. Track 2 rails down behind the 4 or the 9. If he can see all of it, then he doesn't even have to spin it. He can just, yeah, I don't know. Kind of always felt like the 3 was a big ball. You either had to use extreme outside or extreme inside, from what it looked. Pretty certain Alex will attack here to the lower right. Looks like he wants to go directly at the 3 with the cue ball. Well, he did go directly at the 3. The backdoor safety is in effect. The purple 4 is there. He's been above average with the jump cue so far, in my opinion. Pretty good with it. He's going to have to be real good with it here. Watch out. Wow. Nice play. Mr. de Ruyter knocked it in with position. Really had to get into the cue ball with a low outside ball there. Yeah, you have to catch this ball real clean to avoid the 4 and beat the side pocket. So nice shot by Tim there. Very, very nice. Take advantage now and get out here. One ball at a time. Get this match within 3 games. Anything can happen. Forget about what Fargo says. 1%. And maybe a little let up there, no problems. What a big jump shot on the blue 2 there. He's made a couple of them now this match. Credit to Tim, and he will be breaking the balls unless he chooses to relinquish the break to Pagulayan, which is in the rules. I do not know anybody that's done this yet. Still waiting. All right, you need a look. You need to get the 1 down, and you need a look. That's the wrong one. Pagulayan, really a matter of just picking up the pieces here. The 2 to the 3. Maybe the 4 to the 6. A little work to do. I would make him a pretty big favorite to get out from this position. Does he want to get to the top rail there? That way he can play the 3 to the left side. What I mean by that is take ball in hand, play it up into the top left corner, and just follow down past the 7. That way you can just punch up 1 rail to the 3 to the left side. It kind of makes business a little bit easier. Pointing at the 6 there. I'm assuming that's the 4 to the 6. So you really just need to get good on the 3. Dissecting now. Now that I think about it, the great Corey Deuel, I believe, the Prince of Pool, Corey Deuel, the all so creative, I believe he actually gave the breakup to Josh Filler one time. I think it was Corey's break, and he said, no, I want you to break them. And I could see Corey doing that just to see what Josh decided to do. leave it to Corey Duell. Pretty sure there's a video of that somewhere. Maybe on Railbirds TV. What a surprise. Leave it to the Prince of Pool. So he chose to come this way. He's going to come 1-2 off the left side. I think it's a great decision as well, because now you can draw into position on the 4 quite a bit better if you get good on the 3 to the lower left. One of the highest IQs in pool, without a doubt, Alex Pagulayan. Would like that to get off the rail a little more than that. Now he's got to contend with the 8 and 9. Can he hold? Might be able to hold. Sure seems steeper than it looks to me, though. I feel like this line's just a bit steeper than it looks. Six is also a problem. You just can't punch across without any concerns. Oh, he got into it all the way around. How's this going to finish? I think real thin. There is a reason they made 6 pockets. The top right might be available. Just felt like you were coming into a real steep line there to get good on the 4. I think he just wanted to cinch the 3 and get somewhere close to it. It does go to the top right. It can go to the right side on the 6 if he falls well. He's a big hop. He's going to get it. Does he go towards the 8 now? Very good. Still a little bit funny. Feels like everything a slight struggle. Typically how the game is when you're on the hill. I believe he was going to the top right there, but he obviously knew the lower left was available if it did get there. And Pagulayan going to be thrilled. De Ruyter throws in the towel. Great event by Tim as well. Made it to round 9. Pagulayan, no losses. Into round 10. A legit opportunity at snapping this event off. Until next time, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.